So the class today is Introduction to Design. It's basically Design 101. And I find that a lot of people don't know what design really is. They think that design is putting things together to make it look really nice or really beautiful. But this class is supposed to kind of like play up that idea and help you unlearn that and relearn the truth about design. So the topic today is ugly design is not necessarily bad design, right? And when people hear that, they'll be like, if it's ugly, it doesn't mean it's bad, right? Isn't that what people say?
Yeah.
Like, design's supposed to be fine. Like if it's ugly, yes, that means it's trash, right? But then we're about to explore why ugly design is not necessarily bad design. So let's start with the definition of design, right? If I'm going to ask you guys now, what do you think design is? Like, if you were to define design, how would you design it? Don't look at what's on the screen, because that's not even the definition. That's somebody else's. That's Steve Jobs' definition, and he might be wrong. So, tell me your own.
Okay, I feel like, from my own perspective, I feel like when you're designing, it's just like maybe when you're expressing what you feel on paper or on anywhere on the screen, writing. It's just like expressing oneself.
Expressing yourself.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So thank you for giving us that definition. But unfortunately, it is wrong. That's the definition of art. Art is the expression of yourself on paper and on screen. Design is not art. That's the first thing you need to learn. Design is not art at all. Design is solving a problem. Nana, your turn. What do you think design is?
It's an art of solving problems.
Okay. I see you twisting my words. It's fine. So let me tell you. I'll tell you Steve Jobs' definition. I'll tell you the dictionary definition. Then I will explain my own definition. Okay. So Steve Jobs, obviously everybody knows who Steve Jobs is. If you don't know who Steve Jobs is, he defines design as design is not what it looks like or what it feels like. Design is how it works. And again, that kind of like points back to the topic about ugly design is not necessarily bad design. Because if it's not what it looks like, then it can be ugly or fine, right? It's not even what it feels like, right? So it can be rough texture, it can be soft texture, it can be smooth, it can be whatever. But design is how it works. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so let's now go to the Oxford Dictionary definition of it, right? According to the Oxford Dictionary, design is purpose, planning, or intention that exists or is thought to exist behind an action, fact, or material object.
It's kind of like I wasn't expecting something this deep.
It is deep. That's the thing, right? So let's think about it like this. Let's use real life scenarios. If you were given a challenge and the challenge was to say kick a ball over the gate.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Can you guys visualize that challenge? There's this ball on the floor. There's a gate in front of you. You're supposed to kick the ball over the gate. Right?
Yes.
The first thing you do is think about the different ways to kick it. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Then you probably would test the first way. It probably won't work. You come back again and test the second way. And come back and test the third way until you solve the problem.
Yes.
Isn't that true?
Yes.
All you've been doing you've been designing. You've not picked up a pen, you've not picked up a pencil, you've not opened your computer. When trying to solve that problem of getting that ball over the gate, you are using what they call design thinking. You're designing a solution, and once you get the right solution, if you see somebody else with the problem, just tell them, if you want to do that, just kick it like this, because you have already solved that problem in the past. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the purpose, the plan. So design, anytime you see anybody planning something, they're designing something. The design is not necessarily the work you do, it's the plan that goes into the work you do. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So the plan and the intention that exists behind an action, a fact, or a material object, right? So an action is kicking the ball, for example, right? That's why I use that as an example, right? So you can kick the ball with the side of your foot. You probably will roll on the floor. You can kick the ball with your toe. You might go up a little higher. You can carry the ball, throw it up, then kick it. Then you might go over the gate. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But because you have tested both those two theories, they both failed. The one that works is the correct solution to that problem, the answer to that challenge, right? And you have designed a solution, right? So let me tell you who I think the best designers are in the world. Can I tell you who I think the best designers are in the world?
Yes.
Comedians. I'm sure you're not expecting that.
I wasn't.
Comedians are the best designers in the world. Because if you think about it, if the challenge I gave you was to make me laugh, and I was stone cold, and I was just like this, like poker faced, and you had a challenge to make me laugh, I'm pretty sure that none of you can make me laugh. You want to try it?
No, we're not trying it.
No, you can try it now. Like I would literally spend the next 5 minutes testing that theory. That if I decide, if I come to a place not expecting to laugh, and your job is to make me laugh, you might fail. The average person will fail, right? Then imagine that a comedian's job is to make a crowd of people who are very diverse, who don't see things the same way, laugh for maybe 20 to 30 minutes non-stop.
Yeah.
Do you understand how difficult that is?
Yes. It would have required a lot of planning.
Exactly. A lot of planning, a lot of testing, a lot of practice, right? So the design cycle is testing, is ideating, testing, executing, and going back to testing if it fails. So comedians are the world's greatest designers. So when you see somebody say, "Oh, I want a logo, design a logo for me," right? And you just jump and start drawing. This logo is going to be mad. It's going to be fine, right? Yeah. You've already failed because you've not planned out the purpose of that logo. You've not done your research. You've not thought about, okay, if I make this logo today, how do I want people to receive it? What do I want them to feel when they see it? What do I want them to understand by it? Right? All of that is the planning that goes into before you even put your pen to paper. Just to reiterate it, design is the purpose, planning, or intention that exists or is thought to exist behind an action, fact, or material object. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Not a single word about beauty. Isn't that true?
That's true.
They didn't say anything about design must be fine. They didn't say the design must look very attractive. They didn't say the design must be an expression of what's inside you. They didn't say the design must make people like it. People must like it, right? All they said is that it's the purpose, planning, and intention that exists or thought to exist behind an action, fact, or material object, right? Taking this and adding it to Steve Jobs' definition is saying that if you plan something and the action, fact, or material object, if you go back to Steve Jobs' definition, if it works, right, then you have designed properly. Does that make sense? If you kick the ball with the side of your foot, it's still a plan, but did the ball go over the gate? So if you kick the ball with the side of your foot, even if you use power, the chances that the ball will go over the gate are less than if you throw it up and kick it before it lands on the floor. Isn't that true? Right. Yeah. So all I'm saying is that the first attempt at kicking with the side of your foot is a plan and it's a design as well, but it's a design that hasn't worked. Isn't that true? Because the solution is to get the ball over the gate.
Yes.
Isn't that true? So if you have a plan behind an action, a fact, or material object that works, right? For example, a lot of comedians will tell you a joke and nobody will laugh. Isn't that the truth? Like and you see them, they'll put their all into that joke. They'll be jumping up and down. Everybody's looking at this person like, what's this person doing? The comedian is acting out a plan, right? The plan is just not working. Isn't that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So when the plan works, you now have what they call good design. You have designed properly. So the next question now is, what is good design?
I guess we can say it's a good design